everyone. Linda Reed-Enever. I'm an ideas and marketing strategist, and I love nothing more than teaching you what I do, which is what we're going to do in today's video. I'm going to share with you the formula of a newsletter, and this is the formula of a newsletter that we use in-house here at Enever Group. It's what we use with our clients, and I'm going to share that with you today so that you can be using it in your own newsletters templates. Now, I have a downloadable for this one, so if you want to go and download the formula of a newsletter, you can go and download the cheat sheet that goes along with this video and pop it in, and you join my newsletter because you're going to download the cheat sheet along the way. Okay, so when we start our newsletter campaign, we do want to make sure that we have got our ducks in a row and we've got our pieces together. So the first thing we're going to have in our newsletter, or the first thing you see, is you've got to choose a mailing platform. We use MailerLite in-house now. We have used MailChimp in the past. We've tried things like ActiveCampaign, Constant Contact, those ones, but we're finding MailerLite working really well for us in-house now as a team. I've included a handy little MailerLite link to get you started, and it does give you a little bonus credit to get underway with them, which is great. So then once you've selected that, you've got to set your list together. So the list is the next component. So who are you sending to? Now that list has to be an opted in newsletter list, okay? You can't just send to people you've loaded from LinkedIn or people you've loaded from Facebook. People have had to opt in to a newsletter list. You've got to have the right permissions to be able to email someone. So they might have opted in at your checkout. They might have opted in on your website. They might have enrolled in a course, or they might have downloaded a freebie from a lead magnet and jumped in that way. But make sure that you do show that you have opt-in permission, because otherwise you can lose your whole list and no one wants to do all of that. So then we want to make sure that we've grouped and we've segmented that list to make sure that we're talking to the right people. So, you know, like I was just saying here, in-house we have the Enever Group newsletter, which goes out to the whole group of everyone who's opted in for group updates. But then we have specific base ones for like the Course Creators Circle, for business, for Clive stuff, for my stuff, so that people can get the tips and that they're wanting from the group and get segmented tips, and they can opt in or they can opt out. And then obviously we have course-based lists and course-based stuff that goes through to our students that are registered in those courses. But when the formula about what we're going to share with these people, when we're going to give them an update and we're going to put in a newsletter, it's pretty much the same. So the first thing we're looking at is we're obviously looking at our campaign name and our header, our campaign name, sorry. Bear with me. Campaign name, we'll go to header next. The first thing we look at is our campaign name, and that's going to be the thing that says open me. Now, it could be a summary, and we might actually do that towards the end of the newsletter campaign, but it's normally going to cover the topic and what are we going to be looking at. So then we delve into the newsletter layout itself. Then we obviously need to have a header and our brand. Now, what I like to have in there is some extra links that might help people along the way, almost like a little bit of a menu navigation that helps them being able to connect with you and find some other resources that you have. Then you have your introduction to your newsletter. You want to use your people's name in the introduction to the newsletter so that they can connect with you and they feel connected. That introduction should introduce what the newsletter is about. And I like to keep in our introductions a little tip that they don't get anywhere else but in our newsletter. That makes it exclusive, and it also gives people a reason to open the newsletter each and every month because they're not getting regurgitated stuff. Then we're looking at content that has purpose for the subscriber. So maybe some how-to articles that's relevant to them, maybe some product maintenance and advice, maybe an infographic using tools like Canva to be able to create a fun graphic, maybe a couple of videos that you have out there on YouTube that might be relevant to the topic that you're putting this month, a blog post roundup, and using MailerLite. It's really cool. You can do that via RSS feed, maybe some products that might be useful to them as well. And if you have any events, you might do that as well. Some handy things about, especially if you've got a very customer-based or student-based newsletter, is to maybe focus on a student or focus on a client along the way and show some highlights and some wins for those people. Then you can pop in maybe special coupon codes just for your newsletter subscribers, or you can mention a new product launch, or you can give them early access to something as well, which is really good from there. So below is a bit of a format in that cheat sheet that I'm going to give you that we use with our clients. The first is our title. The second is a tagline, because we might as well use the space that we've got. Then we have our introduction. What products or webinars or events are we going to include in that newsletter? What is our featured post or video that we want to pop in there? And we try and keep 2 of those in there as well. Then we've got our product 3 and our product 4 along the way that will help from that point of view. And then another couple of blog posts using those RSS feeds. So being able to make sure that we have educated. And then, of course, most importantly, the tip, the one thing that only our newsletter subscribers get, and we pop that in there as well to help our people engage. So when you're putting your newsletter together, make sure that you are not using it just as a sales pitch. You are educating, you're empowering, you're engaging your people to stay connected, stay on the list, open that newsletter from you each and every month. Okay, there you go. Happy newsletter creating. I look forward to seeing what you're creating. Inside your marketing planner, you have the newsletter template ready to go.